Are you planning a trip to Italy and wonder what's the best way to go from Rome to Venice? Well, in this video, we're going to explain all you need to know about going from Rome to Venice or vice versa. We'll tell you the most efficient way and the most budget friendly, and of course, the most comfortable.
So stay tuned,
Hi, everyone. I'm Rick.
and I'm Andrea, and we are the Travel Addicts. We live right here in Italy, and we travel around the country all the time. Today we are showing you the absolute best way to get from Rome to Venice or vice versa, whether you're in a budget backpacker or a luxury travel. And trust us, when we say luxury, we mean it. We made this trip dozens of times, and we know that some routes are smoother, faster, and more efficient than others. So sit down, relax, and enjoy the ride.
And maybe even grab a glass of wine.
Maybe.
So, Rome and Venice are two of Italy's, well, crown jewels, right? Rome for its ancient history and the food, and Venice for its canals, romantic vibes, and charm like no other. But first, let's have a look where these two cities are located.
Yes, Rome is located in central Italy, near the Tyrrhenian coast, while Venice is located in the northeast part of the country, right on the Adriatic coast. The distance between the two cities is around 530 kilometers, or 330 miles. As you can see, the two cities are quite far from each other, at least by Italian standard. However, the way you travel makes a big difference.
Yes, absolutely. So, let's start by exploring the different ways to travel from Rome to Venice, and I'll start with flying. So you can fly from Rome to Venice. However, in our opinion, it's not exactly the best way to travel between the two cities. Let me explain. First, in order to fly from Rome to Venice, you're going to have to go to Roma Fiumicino Airport, which is 30 kilometers outside of Rome. To get to Fiumicino from Rome, you can either take a taxi that'll cost about 55 euros at the time of the recording and takes between 35 and 55 minutes or more, depending on traffic. Or you can take the Leonardo Express. It's a train that takes you from Termini Station right to the airport in about 32 minutes, and it costs 14 euros per person at the time of recording. Now, you will need to get to the airport at least an hour and a half before your flight to clear security. And the flight time between Rome and Venice is 1 hour. Now, once you arrive at Venezia Marco Polo Airport, you'd think you were in the city, right? But no, you still have to commute to the city center. The airport is about 15 kilometers from the city center, and to get there, well, you have a few options.
Yeah. First option is the Vaporetto Ali Laguna, which will take about 1 hour to an hour and a half to reach the city center and will cost 10 euros at the time of recording. The ride is nice and scenic, but quite long. However, with this option, you can pick a stop that is close by to your hotel in Venice. The second option is to take the bus that will take you from the airport to Piazzale Roma parking. This is the only area in the city of Venice that is reachable by car. The bus ride will take about 20 minutes and it costs 10 euro at the time of recording. From Piazzale Roma to your hotel, you then need to walk, take a water taxi, or take a vaporetto. The last option is a water taxi that will cost you between 65 and 170 euros depending on the drop-off location. Also, the travel time depends on where in Venice you need to be dropped off. So as you can see, it's quite far.
Mhm.
In conclusion, flight time between Rome and Venice is only 1 hour. But once you get into the airport in Rome, going through security, boarding, delays, and the transfer into Venice downtown from the airport, you can see that it could take up to 5 hours and cost a lot of money, and to be a lot more stressful than the next way to get from Rome to Venice, which is the train.
Right, so hands down, the best way to get from Rome to Venice is by high speed train. The Frecciarossa and Italo lines are your two options. These trains are fast, clean, and comfortable. You'll leave from Roma's Termini station and arrive at Venezia Santa Lucia right on the Grand Canal. The train ride between Rome and Venice takes about 4 hours, and prices vary depending on the class of service, the promotions available, and most importantly, the time of booking. If you book between 90 and 60 days prior to departure, you will have the best chance of getting the best price, right?
Absolutely.
And if you're traveling on a budget, well, We suggest buying the standard class ticket on Italo. It's called Smart. The seats are comfortable and they have a power plug to charge your phone. And standard is usually busier than the other classes, and you might have more children traveling there in the same coach. The next level up is premium on Trenitalia. This class of service offers you nicer seats that recline and a free snack and drink. Next up is business or prima on Italo. And there you'll have nice, wide, comfortable seats, a lot of legroom, and again, a snack and drink included. And remember, we talked about luxury. Well, if you want to spoil yourself a little bit, take a look at executive class. When you travel in executive, you'll have the best of the best. There's only 10 seats in the entire car. The seats are wide, extremely comfortable, and you get unlimited food and drinks for the whole trip.
Unlimited.
You can board in the morning, have a nice breakfast, a mid morning snack, and a nice lunch with some Prosecco or two before arriving in Venice. How amazing is that?
Absolutely. By the way, we did an entire video about Trenitalia executive class and you can watch it up here. Pro tip, download the Omio app. Using the app, you can book, pick your seat, and even get live updates. Just scan this QR code or follow the link in the description below to get the app. If you love road trips, you can drive from Rome to Venice, but we did not usually recommend it for first timer. The drive takes about 6 to 7 hours without stopping, depending on traffic. You'll take the A1 Autostrada, Italy Main North to South Highway, and pass the city like Florence and Bologna. In Bologna, we'll need to change Autostrada and take the A13, Bologna, Padua, Venezia, all the way to Venice. The Autostrada is not free, and tolls can cost between 30 and 40 euros. Also, gas is pricey in Italy, and traffic around Rome and Venice is no joke. Lastly, you cannot drive in Venice city center. You'll have to park at Piazzale Roma, the only area of the city that can be reached by car. At Piazzale Roma, you'll find the parkade that you have to book way in advance because spots are very limited and they get sold out quickly. Parking in Venice costs about 33 euros per day at the time of recording. So driving is not the best option to go from Rome to Venice unless your planning is to stop in Tuscany or Emilia-Romagna along the way.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So let's explore the last option to go from Rome to Venice, and it's take the bus. The bus from Rome Termini to Venice's Piazzale Roma is probably your cheapest option, especially if you're on a budget. However, the bus ride will take between 8 and 11 hours, depending on the number of stops. But it will cost you as little as 15 euros. So basically, you'll spend your entire day of your holiday on the bus.
Yep.
If you have the time, we strongly recommend you to split up your trip and spend a night in Florence and one night in Bologna. You can take a train from Rome to Florence in 90 minutes. You can explore this Renaissance capital and you won't be disappointed. The next day, catch a 40-minute train ride to the stunning city of Bologna, which is, we think, super underrated and halfway to Venice. And by the way, if you want to know more about Bologna, have a look at this video up here. So there you have it, the 4 best ways to get from Rome to Venice, Italy. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment to tell us your favorite Italian route. Also, after your trip, let us know what you liked the most about your trip. What was your favorite part? And what would you like for us to cover in the future? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.